I think the one time I played Uno with Hagen, it was like as we were playing the game, I feel like he was making rules up.
I explained all of the rules.
They're still made up.
There was
though.
like 50 fucking rules.
It's all rules are made up.
All right. I don't want to play. I've never played a board game with Hagen. I don't want to.
Yeah, that's not true.
You've played made up Uno. Yeah.
I'm sure we played Betrayal together. Have you not played Betrayal with me?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, you probably have.
This was the first time I'd ever played a board game with Andy.
Yeah, but we used to play Betrayal a lot at the old house when it was when Keely and I were together.
I'm aware of that, but I don't think I ever played specifically with you.
Oh.
He just sat in the room and watched us play, I guess.
No, like I'm totally comfortable saying no to a board game, but being like, I'll hang out. But some people I think feel coerced by the like, oh, well, there's 6 people here. It can seat 6. I have to play. It's like, no, let 5 people play. It's totally fine.
Oh, I'll just hang out for 14 hours.
That's a different game.
I will almost always sit out of a board game because I don't want to be the one who like holds it back because I don't understand it.
Here's the thing:
it'll take me so long.
I have accepted about myself. Here's a great way to look at it. You play video games. I'm sure you've played I don't know if you've played JRPGs, but I would assume you've played something where it's like, hey, it's a 100-hour campaign, and it takes 30 hours to roll out every single mechanic of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Think if they had rolled all of the mechanics of that game in 1 hour.
Yeah,
you would have just lost it, and you would have felt overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way that I take board games. I try to look and read the rules, and I try to listen to, like, I think Adam and the other person I played this weekend with are really good at like retaining what they read on the paper. I'm not.
Yeah,
I am more of like, hey, I get 30% of what you're saying. We'll go and we'll learn it as we go.
I'm the same way.
And as soon as you accept that, you can be much more like, I think and you can enjoy it a lot more.
As long as the people don't get frustrated when you don't remember something, because that tends to be the case when you play board games. People, they're like, "What the fuck? You don't know what this is anymore?" Like,
you're playing with the wrong people.
I'm playing with Adam.
Which game was that?
I don't remember. This is also when we were like younger. So.
Yeah, Hagen's Uno.
Yeah, I mean, made up rules though.
They're in the rule book for Uno. They're in the rule book.
Do y'all play that on Uno? I don't know which one's the official rule, but whenever you draw, so you don't have something to play, and then you draw. Do you draw one and then it goes to the next person, or do you draw until you play?
You draw until you can play something, but
that's how I play.
But you can still make, if you draw something that's like, oh, I could play this card, but I would rather hold it, then you can hold it.
I think if you like play on like an Uno app or something like that, which I assume are official license.
Strange idea to even think about. I guess that doesn't.
A lot of people do.
Wait.
That makes sense.
I didn't. This isn't like I played on my phone one day. I was like, I just want to play Uno with robots. Like it was genuinely. I was on a 12-hour flight, and I was like, I'll play Uno. I'll play Uno. And
hold on. Are you one of those people who's like, oh, I'm on the plane. I don't know what to do for 12 hours. I couldn't have prepared anything to bring with me.
No, absolutely.
Because I imagine you would bring a book, but
I do, and I prepare a lot of stuff, but you like to take mental breaks, and like there is kind of that idea of, oh, I've packed all these things, but here's something I didn't pack in front of me. What's this? That kind. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's how I operate.
I get that. Like if I'm sitting on the plane and someone like next to me is like I'm like 2 like rows over is watching a movie that like looks really fun to watch, and I didn't have that movie prepped. I'm like, oh fuck.
That's the best part of getting up on like an international flight or any type of long haul flight is go and pee, and then because now all those screens have like the the privacy screens where you can't see it unless you're like right on their shoulder. So like when you get up to go to the bathroom and you're walking back,
people are watching.
Yeah.
When you're walking back to your seat, you see Legally Blonde, Matrix Trilogy. What the fuck's that?
Legally Blonde, Legally Blonde, Legally Blonde.
Yeah, it's great. I love that.
I just end up sitting there doing nothing when I'm on a flight.
That's nice.
I mean, just look out the window.
You knew you were going to do that, though, at least. It's not like you showed up.
I have a whole bunch of other things.
Because there are people who just show up and they're like, I don't have anything to do. What am I supposed to do for these 12 hours?
Yeah, I have like shows and movies downloaded on my iPad. Like,
yeah.
So I can watch
it. If you don't watch them, it's totally different.
When do you truly get to check out?
Exactly.
In life? So like not have a choice but to check out.
Yes.
Like you can't just say, hey, I'm kind of bored of this flight. Can you pull over? Like you can't do that. And you're not driving. And typically when you're on the flight,
I would argue you could do that.
Okay.
I mean, it's a very expensive pit stop, but yeah, you could do it.
That's not what he's referring to.
That's not what I'm referring to.
Oh.
Yeah. The man with 1,000 names is referring to taking down the plane. This is YouTube exclusive.
YouTube exclusive right here. Morning. Welcome to Don't Be the Artist. I'm the man with 1,000 names.
I'm Dave.
Adam.
Jackson.
Just what?
That was good.
Okay.
We made it work.
Just yeah. All right, we'll see. See what happens.
Oh, man.
It's been a long day for me. So,
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you want to talk about it?
No, not really.
Well,
In case the people working on my house listen to this.
do you think they do?
Oh, probably not. but
Didn't
they
your
could.
like realtor?
Our realtor definitely. He still does. Maybe.
Hopefully
So,
he watches on YouTube.
maybe he should. Yeah, it'd
Yeah.
be good.
That would be very nice if he watched on YouTube also. Do
And
both.
downloaded in every app to increase our numbers. Yeah.
Boost the numbers. How's everybody else doing?
It's been a long week.
It's
What? It's Monday.
Monday.
yeah.
Since
I almost
last
said-
week.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long rolling week.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say like, it's like literally when's the first day of the week for y'all?
Oh,
I'm.
no.
Oh fuck.
I'm a Monday guy. I don't think Sunday is the first day of the week.
None of it.
I think. Yeah. I think
Monday.
I think Monday is the first day of the week.
Yeah.
And I think Saturday is the last day of the week.
Adam.
And I think
And
Sunday is a
just
buffer.
Doesn't count. It's
Doesn't
in
count.
Between. I can go for that.
I do. I've always hated Sundays. It's my least favorite day of the week.
Monday is definitely the first day of the week, like in the grand scheme of weeks. But if I'm looking at like my general week, like Monday is a day off. Like that's my weekend. Like I don't do anything on Mondays. So he's not even listening to me.
No.
He's not even listening. He's just looking at his, he's showing Adam a fucking meme or something on his fucking computer, man.
Yeah, about Mondays. Yeah.
Is it Garfield?
No, in the Gregorian calendar,
In the Garfield calendar?
currently used in most countries, is derived from the Hebrew calendar, where Sunday is considered the beginning of the week.
But here's the thing: if I looked at my a calendar or my calendar app and it started with Monday, I'd be pissed.
Pretty sure there's like a.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a setting for that,
setting
and
for
it
that.
looks wrong.
Yeah.
So you have to use the weird one where Sunday is the first day.
According to a survey of 1,379 men and women in their 20s to 60s across Japan, 47.6% say Sunday is the first day of the week. 52.4% say Monday. So that's, that's a kind of slim margin.
Yeah.
It's enough that, I wouldn't have been shocked if somebody. I thought Adam was going to be like,
nobody's saying
well,
like
actually,
Saturday.
Actually.
He's got glasses.
I have glasses now. Yeah, that's
He
fair.
does
I can
He's
do
a
that.
nerd.
He's a nerd.
He has to have those
Wait.
to drive.
Haven't you always had glasses?
Yeah,
Okay.
I just wear them more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now.
Because he
I'm
drives
old
more.
and
older.
everything's breaking. Yeah.
I got an eye exam this week, and I still have 20/20 vision.
Did they do the numbing?
No, the numbing.
Yeah, the eye numbing thing.
No.
They never do that to you guys.
It's just
You need a new optometrist.
Nah, my eyes are great.
You wear
So-
contacts?
So are Dave's. His eyes are great too.
Yeah, why'd you
Yeah.
go?
Just
for
just
fun?
to make
Go
sure. Well,
Just in case.
I found out. I
Just
found
in
out
case.
that if I don't keep going, I'm gonna get glaucoma.
Like Bono.
If I stopped going, he was like, then eventually, probably in your 40s, you'll start to develop glaucoma.
That sounds like he's just trying to make money off you. If
No.
you stop going, but specifically
No, but-
to this place,
The reason being is that he can stop it before it happens, but once it happens,
he's
can't
fighting
reverse
those
it.
demons for you.
You're supposed to go get like a yearly checkup, even if you have perfect vision.
Are
'cause
you
of
implying that
that
doctors are
reason.
trying to make money off of us?
Well, it is America, so
Holy fuck.
He works at Sam's Club.
Works.
That's where the eye doctor was.
Yeah, mine's at Target.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I have
different stores.
I have free eye insurance.
Wait, so
what do
do
they
you-
call it?
Vision insurance.
Vision insurance.
Do you not actually? You don't go to the eye doctor?
No.
You go to every other doctor, but not the eye doctor.
Yeah, my eyes are fine. I can see very well.
I was worried though when I first. He was like, "Read these 4 letters," and I screwed it up
forgot
twice.
how to read?
I screwed it up twice.
I'm really
Because
bad at tests. So,
right before I went
yeah.
in, they do that thing where it shoots that little puff of air in
Yeah.
your eye, and I was like, "Man, what is this even for?"
The doctor just gets in your eye and goes,
He goes,
It's so that they can sell you glasses.
"Yeah, exactly." But, hey,
Hey, doctor's trying to make money. Oh my God, what is
Yeah.
happening?
He's like, see, you need glasses. You can't read.
I'd love it if the eye doctor went and like punched you in the face and was like, "All right, now what does this say?" And if you read it right, they punched you again. And they're like, "Okay, now what does it say now?"
I mean, but have you ever had one of those like eye numbing things?
No.
Is it an eye drop?
I've only had my eyes dilated.
Yeah. I mean, and that's also not fun where it's like
that's-
everything can be blurry for a bit.
You're not supposed to drive or anything for like 6 or 7 hours after
Yeah.
your eyes dilated.
Yeah. I've had that one and that's not fun. Like, can't read my phone. I'm just like, fuck, what do I have to do?
is the
Fucking
numbing
listen to the radio?
just like an eye drop?
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
I don't remember because I don't go to the doctor frequently enough to remember.
They numb his eyes so they can put steroids in his eye so they stay good. So he still has 20/20 vision.
There you go.
HGH, baby.
Steroids.
Yep. Swole eyes.
Swole eyes.
I couldn't think about it. Like,
You're the
like a Tim
liver
Burton
eye
character.
king.
yeah.
Like a fucking chihuahua.
It's like fucking like giant popping veins.
It's all vegan diet, man. That's what it is. And then people are going to find out, oh, he eats fish. He's a fucking liar. Good shit. Adam,
Very
do
good
you eat
shit.
fish?
No.
Yeah. Do you eat vegetables?
Yeah.
What's your favorite vegetable?
Broccoli
Same.
How do you cook it?
in the oven, roasted.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean?
What do you
What do
mean?
you put?
You just like
If
steaming
he
it?
said steamed it, he's a cop. Like, what?
You're a fucking cop.
Who steams their broccoli?
A lot of people.
A lot of people.
They're very boring though.
Yeah, no, you roast it, and if you like the creme de la creme, you char that shit.
You know, Sonic has like now
like
they
the little blue hedgehog?
broccoli flavored Slurpees.
no they have like
Sloots.
they have like little like I guess it's like a little like cheese ball, like a little fried cheese ball with broccoli inside of it.
Yeah, that seems disgusting.
People really like broccoli and cheese.
Well, apparently, like they had this before. They brought it back. I was like, I can't believe that like this was so in demand that
That's
a
their
fried
McRib.
ball of cheese and broccoli.
Millions of dollars of
cheese ball
market
the first
research.
time. Cheese ball.
Cheese ball. It's a fried cheese
Fried
ball.
cheese
man.
ball.
I don't
Broccoli.
Know, man. I don't know, man. Something the people at Sonic like it. They also like their steak burger, their steak butter burger, which is hilarious.
It's delicious.
Is it?
It's delicious.
Dave got so serious.
That shit's delicious.
My partner asked me last night if would I never go to Sonic again or play a Sonic game again for her. And I said, yeah, that's the easiest thing. Like, I never want to go to Sonic ever. And who wants to play a Sonic video game?
First of all, that's your first mistake because I went to Sonic. I was like, I'm really hungry, leaving where I am right now, and like I just need to eat something. So I was like, I'm gonna go get like a little chicken sandwich, and I'm gonna get a small onion ring with that. Do you know how many onion rings are in their small
a
onion
lot.
ring? Dude, order
Like 12?
Order it
I was
next
gonna
time.
say, is it an
Onion
entire?
rings.
Is it an entire onion?
It doesn't. They also don't taste like onion rings.
Yeah, no, they
because
taste
it's just
like vanilla.
batter.
Yeah, they're
yeah.
super sweet.
Oh,
It
yeah, I hate it.
sucks. There's nothing for me to eat there. It's like sides and then a grilled cheese.
Well, we went to Sonic that day that
I know,
when we
I
were
w-
recording
I
the-
didn't eat. We were just hungover and wanted. I mean,
Yeah.
that was also my idea. To
That
go to
was
Sonic, so.
never my call. I think I even said like, "Hey, maybe somewhere else." And Hagen was like, "No, there's one right."
Fuck you, you vegan, vegan bitch.
And Hagen was like, "There's one around the corner." And really, so like we went. Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, there's always a Sonic around the corner, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We've got like 7 in Denton, so
We have 3.
it feels like more.
We have way more Starbucks, way more Whataburgers.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Hagen, do you get discounts because you have a Sonic tattoo now?
I haven't tried it yet. I was
should,
when I got the tattoo, they were like, you should try to get free shit. I'm like, man. But I hadn't been to Sonic until like I didn't even take my dad when he was in town, and that was his first request. So,
Fuck you, Dad.
This is his request, and you said no, we're not.
well, he got off the
Have you been to Pascal?
got off the plane. He was like, here's what I want. I want a corn dog. And I was like, but it's nice outside. Let's go sit outside somewhere and eat lunch together. And
Yeah,
he's
at
like,
Sonic.
Sonic.
You can eat outside.
yeah, that sounds gross.
In the
I
concrete.
agree.
Yeah.
Sonic is gross.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I've grown a lot since that day.
How
Since
big?
that faded day. What?
How big?
I was about to flex, and then I was like, oh, that's a douchey thing to
You're
do.
on
Don't do
camera.
that. That's how big.
So he wanted Sonic.
You wanted this
A corn dog from Sonic.
You wanted a Route 44 Diet Coke with extra ice, not extra ice. My mom gets it extra ice. That's why I have the tattoo. But he wanted extra ice. If you say extra twice, it's too much ice for him. It's already too much ice. And then
Too
he wanted,
many ices.
You're paying for ice at that point.
And then you wanted
Take
to,
one
they-
sip
well,
and
but
you're
they-
like,
but
They don't have ice in Germany, so
you also can get
true.
you can get a bag of Sonic ice. You can like order.
I know that.
Yeah.
I learned that from you like a month ago.
Yeah.
You can do that at Taco Casa too.
Why?
they need
Taco
to make
Casa
extra
have
money.
Sick ice or something.
No.
He wanted a corn dog and he wanted a burger, but he's like not eating like carbs, so he would have to take the bun off the burger.
He wanted a hot dog.
No, he wanted a corn dog. Okay.
Well, okay.
Well, there are carbs in a corn dog.
Yeah.
You're talking to the wrong person about this.
I
I
must
do
do
not
carbs
understand.
differently over there.
Yeah, it must.
With a
it must-
K.
yeah. I don't understand the difference, but well, I mean, to be fair, he didn't also specify that about the burger. It's just that when he did eventually order a burger while he was in town, he took the bun and everything off and just had the meat. So he also, when we were at a Tex-Mex place, he was like, "I just want meat and rice and beans," and I was like, "That's pretty easy." And so looking through the menu, I was like reading stuff off to him. He's like, "No, I don't want that." I was like, "No, I don't want that." I'm like, "Okay, but that is meat and rice and beans." I was like, "We could get fajitas and you could just not eat the tortillas." He's like, "I don't want the tortillas." I'm like, "You could just not eat the tortillas and we could just order you like a thing of fajita. You just don't touch the tortillas because that'll come with rice and beans and a bunch of." He's like, "I don't want the tortillas." I'm like, this is
like ordering for a child.
it's and then it came with like the little guac salad that fajitas come with, right? And he was like, "What is this? I don't want this." I'm like, then give it to me, please. Stop talking.
You're like, eat your food. Eat your fucking food.
You don't have to worry about it. It's gone. It's out of your vision now.
I truly, if I had a time machine and I could go back and like kick anyone in the dick, it'd be the person who came up with, and I know it's a guy, it'd be the person who came up with, "Hey, I'd like a side of guacamole at a Tex-Mex place," and then they're like, "Hey, we're gonna give them half the amount of guacamole by putting lettuce under it." That's the person I'd kick in the dick. Fuck that guy.
You did a TikTok about who you'd kick in the dick.
I
You
did.
You said a different person.
Nope, it's the exact same guy.
Oh, is
I
it?
just play by play that.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for calling me out. I
Oh.
appreciate being held accountable for my actions.
Well, I was wrong though, so I didn't. I mean, it wasn't a good call out.
Yeah, but
I didn't do my proper research, so I shouldn't have called you out like that. I misremembered, so I apologize for my call out. You know.
what's your favorite TikTok of mine, Dave?
The one that I'm in.
Are you in one?
Yeah, you posted on the moniker page.
banned ones.
Oh,
Yeah,
I forgot I did that.
I just like looking at me and Hagen.
Yeah, somewhere below you. I'm somewhere.
I minimize myself in like meetings with like Zoom and Teams
Really?
meetings. Because I sit there and I'm just staring at myself.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like have to minimize it.
I stare at you too.
Yeah, you have to. I'm right here.
I stared at you a lot on Sunday morning. My wife was doing a poster.
Oh, hey, we're not announcing that yet. Okay.
I didn't say what the poster was for. I just said
you mentioned something about it.
you also already
publicly.
posted it.
Yeah, you posted about it.
But nobody follows me. That's fine.
Well,
That's a
3
safe
of us
space.
do, so
I do like your new Instagram name though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I toyed around with that one a lot. Tried to figure out. I had a different one in mind. I wanted to do Jack, son of Jack, just clean, no underscores. But of course, that was taken.
Yeah.
I had other ones in mind, but this was the best one I could figure out.
I like it. It's a good name.
Thank you. I found out recently you can change your Instagram handle like real easily. So I think that's going to be a new thing I do. Just fuck around with it.
Nice.
Man, there's no nothing musical to talk about, huh?
I mean, like the Metallica tickets got fucked.
I didn't hear anything about it.
I didn't hear anything in the news about it, but a student of mine came in and we were talking about the announcement. And he was like, "Yeah, I tried to get tickets this morning, and they were $900." It's like, holy fuck! Like,
I'm not shocked by that.
but that would be like the
Yeah.
that would be more of the dynamic pricing stuff. Plus, they had like this.
I guess
like,
it's because I'm not on Parlor. That's why I didn't hear it.
they're not really on Parlor anymore, by the way. They're on what's it called?
Is there another one now?
It's not now.
Was
It's
Metallica
been
on Parler?
It's been a
No, they were on
while.
Grindr.
What's it called?
Well, their fans are there. But
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't remember what it's called, but it's people are not on Parlor anymore.
Cool.
Parlor, I don't think Parlor really is a thing anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
yeah, sure.
Nice.
Truth Social.
True Social's one of them. Yeah, True
That's another
Social's
one,
one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Christian Mingle.
Twitter.
Nope. Well, some of them now.
Farmers only.
Farmers only. And I knew somebody who was on that.
Is that real? Is that a real one?
Yeah.
There's like I don't think it's called that, but it's like a farmer's one. Like, ugh, fuck.
Pretty sure it actually is called that, and they were like totally okay with that.
Telegram. That's what it's called.
That's a
Farmers
different kind of thing, isn't it? I thought that was like a messaging thing that's
Yeah.
supposedly encrypted, but isn't really.
It's their. I think it's their.
FarmersOnly.com.
I think it's like their Discord. I think
Sign
it's
up for free to find
okay,
a
yeah,
farmer,
it's alt-right Discord, yeah.
rancher.
Free to fucking farmer.
Sign up for free to find a farmer, rancher, cowboy, cowgirl, or animal lover here at farmersonly.com.
Okay.
That's what it says.
That's what it says.
Metallica's on there.
Yeah.
That's where they're selling the tickets.
Yeah.
And everyone's just still talking about Metallica. Like I saw a bunch of people posting today that like they're like, oh my God, Lars is such a humble guy because he said that he couldn't play Rush drum parts. Like, no fucking shit. He's just stating the obvious. He can barely play Metallica drum parts. What are we fucking talking about here? Why is that like? What a humble guy.
Yeah, how is that humble?
Yeah, that
just sounds like he's dumb.
it just sounds like he's saying what everybody already knows, and he's like, God, I'm so fucking cool. So how brave am I? Like, what the fuck?
Not super related, but I saw this TikTok account of a guy who's going to as many concerts as he can for the price of a Blink-182 ticket.
Oh, I like
Oh,
that.
a
like
good
taking
idea.
all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's fun. I thought about doing something like some gimmick like that next year for like the albums I listen to. I thought about like announcing in our end of year episode of like, next year I'm only going to listen to albums people recommend me. I'm not going to search. And I was like, no, that's fucking stupid. Why would I even do that?
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's
Plus,
gonna
you
be-
listen to a lot of music, right?
I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So yeah. Today I listened to that like Beck's 2020 pop album, and I was just like, "This is." I miss when Beck was a Scientologist. I really do. As soon as he denounced it, like he started releasing his pop music, I'm like, I never thought I would say this, but like Beck's out of touch, man. He just is out of touch.
Yeah. Probably all of the auditing stuff really got him feeling all of his emotions.
Are we talking about Glenn Beck or Beck?
Beck.
Okay.
Did he get audited?
No, it's what they call basically
That's-
like
yeah, it's
therapy and Scientology
Scientology's
is
confession.
auditing. Yeah, is you sit there with like they record the whole thing, but you sit there with a higher up, and they basically just like talk about all of your problems, how you could be doing better,
It's therapy. Right?
kind of. But they don't believe in therapy, so it's their version of therapy.
You don't have to believe in it. It's
well,
real.
Then
They
they,
don't.
record it.
They
for,
don't believe in therapy. They hold. Yeah, they record it
it for blackmail
to
later.
hold it against you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like John Travolta is like a supposedly a closeted gay man, and like that's something they've had on him for a while. That might not be true. He might not be gay, but like that's been something that like he hasn't
been
been
a-
able to leave for that reason.
Been a blind item for a long time.
He's
Yeah.
pretty manly in Greece.
I mean, gay men can
Yeah.
be manly, Dave.
That's true, but I was joking.
I was like, I really want to give him one for this.
I regret saying that.
I mean, that's what they're for.
So since there's not really music news, we kind of discussed, we've been kicking this one around for a while, just always said, hey, we're waiting for the right moment. And then we realized the world's never going to stop. It's like the next superhero movie. There's always going to be another one of these. We're going to talk about music biopics. And we didn't specifically do like a research episode of like, we're talking about the Elvis one that came out this year, Baz Luhrmann's Elvis. That's not what we're doing. We're just we're shooting the shit. So I guess let's start with Adam. What do you Biopics.
Go.
I don't.
What do you?
Just in general, not even music ones. I don't tend to care, but they're usually like actors going after winning an Oscar for their performance or something, or impersonation. Basically, at the
Right.
point of a lot of these.
King
Music-
Richard.
Yeah, music ones specifically just don't interest me that much. Even the like David Bowie one that came out, I haven't seen still. Like,
Are you talking about like the Moon Age Daydream,
Yeah.
which is
not
actually like
technically a
archival
biopic.
footage?
It's more of like a documentary kind of thing, but
There was like a biopic
Yeah.
that his
That's
estate was
not-
like,
not
you
done
can't
yet.
use any of our music.
Yeah.
So it's a Bowie biopic.
Oh yeah, we talked
without
about that.
any music,
With no
which is
music.
going to be
It's already
interesting.
It's already out.
Is it?
Yeah.
I wonder how it was then. So, but
I
like
don't think
the
people liked it.
the Queen one that came out, it used the music, and then when you use the music, you have the problem of like then the person you're talking about is involved, or their estate, or their friends, and all that, and that's just tends to not make a good movie.
Yeah, because the Queen one was going to be Sacha Baron Cohen,
Correct.
and
Yeah.
he wanted to do it completely different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
mean,
Brian May was like,
and then
"No,
Queen
I
got
don't like that."
involved.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think that for the most part, some of them are cool, but they like I understand the point. But I have a hard time with like the over dramatization of everything for the most part. It feels like really, it's hard for me to get immersed in those kinds of things. Like I like dumb dramas, but I don't like when someone's trying to like shove an over dramatization of a person's life, even if it was a dramatic and crazy life. It just feels very forced. I don't know.
So technically, the definition from the Oxford Dictionary is a movie dramatizing the life of a particular person. So it's supposed to be dramatic.
Yeah, but I'm saying over dramatization.
Oh, okay.
Like, of course, it's a dramatization. Of course, there's like the whole aspect of it being a script and not the person's life, and all that kind of stuff. It just feels like it's like I'm watching like. It's like Michael Bay is directing all of these.
Yeah,
It feels like
right.
they're very intense with how like the directing style is like very in your face about how crazy. And of course, I don't want to minimize how people's lives were, but the movies tend to just. It's hard for me to get immersed into
it
it.
just
When it's
exaggerates
Yeah.
everything.
I wonder how much for me it's always strange with what you're talking about of, you'll see something, whether it's The Temptations or Ray Charles, and you'll watch it and you're like, isn't that crazy that this happened? And then I guarantee all of us after watching one of these, like go home or the next morning you wake up and while you're just kind of like waking up and scrolling, you're like, I'm going to go onto their Wikipedia. And you're like, well, that stuff did happen, but 3 years apart, not all in one night, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's so strange now. We all have that ability. So why hasn't the like film process for these movies changed? Whereas like there are specifically, I know there's a famous one, I haven't seen it, but the Buddy Holly story that came out in 1978. And I would assume that just kind of became the folklore. That was Buddy Holly's like
Right.
biography that people knew. So I wonder if there was that kind of thing, because everyone I felt like knew this Elvis one that came out. I don't know anyone who saw it. Oh, you saw
I watched it. Yeah,
How was it?
it was garbage.
Okay.
It was really over dramatic, and I was
Well,
like,
yeah.
So that's
"All right."
Baz
Yeah.
Luhrmann.
Yeah,
now.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say
that's-
it's probably overly like stylistic and cool in that way,
I only wanted to
just
see
based
it.
on him. But
Yeah, and I was sorry, Hagen.
No, you're
I was Googling things the whole time watching it. Like, did that really happen that way?
Right.
And in every instance, it was what you just mentioned.
Tom
where it
Hanks
was
wasn't
like,
even there.
dude.
I wanted to. I haven't seen it. I wanted to see it because I like Austin Butler.
He did a great job.
And that's why I wanted to see. Yeah, I think that's what ends up interesting me the most out of these movies is like how they're gonna perform those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like
It's so
some people do
frustrating.
great performances, but some people you can so easily fake so much shit anyway. So
I
and
hate
all
that-
the whitewashing in that movie was just like fuck.
yeah.
They made it look like he was really good friends with all these people of color, and I was just like, I don't know if that's actually how
Well,
it went.
Did they touch on him
was-
like being married to a teenager?
No.
That's
they,
weird.
They
Wonder
talked
why they
about
left that out.
Priscilla, but they didn't talk about the fact that she was super young. Well, they might have mentioned it at one point, but like that was, and then they didn't get together right away.
He was really good friends with a lot of people of color. It's the problem that he didn't give anybody any sort of recognition or rights. So
Right.
he like
Credit or
he
anything.
learned and was friends with a lot of people of color, but then after the fact fucked it all up. So
Yeah. And they just made it seem like he was like they were just all influences from him, and that he was just didn't want to do the shitty songs that people were trying to push down his throat.
So that Bohemian Rhapsody one, I felt like everyone knew going into that, like, hey, this isn't necessarily true. This is just like
I think like we knew, and people who
Right.
pay attention to that stuff know, but I don't think a lot of people knew that there was anything missing or omitted or anything in there.
I thought I wasn't going to go see that. I was super excited for that for years, as we all were.
Yeah.
When you hear Sacha Baron Cohen, and then like Queen's one of my favorite bands,
And
and
like that they didn't want Queen to be involved.
right.
I think that's always a good sign
Yeah.
that they don't want them to be involved. Like the David Bowie one is apparently terrible. It had a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. I looked up.
Yeah. No,
Nice.
But they weren't trying to not involve the estate. They tried to get them involved in the first place. So it's like, okay, yeah, that's not the case. But you can make a good movie without the involvement of the
Yeah.
family or the band or anything. That just doesn't happen.
I feel like for the past, let's say 5-6 years, for me, music biopics felt like everyone in the like superhero movie zeitgeist. It felt like I remember Straight Outta Compton coming out, and I was in college, and I was like, look, like I like NWA, but like I'm not really too interested in the whole story. I'll just listen to the music. And then I remember everyone I was around saying, well, you have to see it. And like I felt like, well, I have to go fucking see it now. And the same thing for Bohemian Rhapsody.
The Elton John one.
Yeah, and Rocketman. I do want to say on that Bohemian Rhapsody, I wasn't going to see it because I was like, look, I don't think I'm going to like this. And like, I'd just rather stick with that. But then like my dad texted me the day before it came out. He's like, hey, I bought us like the nicest theater. And he's like, I bought us like tickets. Like, I figure like if you're going to see that movie, you got to see it on the biggest screen with the best sound system. And I was like, fuck. And I had a really good time.
yeah.
And I really did. But like
It's a fun movie, even if
It
it's
is.
not really good.
it feels like a sports movie. It
Yeah.
feels like it's just constantly like kind of like moving forward. There's no like actual story happening. But
Yeah, they're just going through the story without like letting it sit.
and I think the last music biopic I watched was that Netflix one, The Dirt, on Motley Crue.
Oh god.
That's the you got home from the bar one night. And
I'm
watched it, right?
shocked you remember this.
Yeah, yeah.
I got home from a bar, and not like just like, oh, it was midnight. Like I got home at 2 a.m. and I was just like, wasn't really feeling tired. So I just opened up my laptop and I was like, I'm going to put something on and I'm going to fall asleep like within 10 minutes of it. And I think it's like a 2-hour movie. I stayed up for the whole thing. And it wasn't like I was enjoying it. I was very frustrated. I was like, people have been talking about this so much and how good it is. And like Motley Crue like became a band again because of it. And I was just like, how are we like, I was so frustrated watching it. I was like, these guys are like sex criminals.
Yeah.
And like people used to like, the whole society was like, this is awesome. And like now we're watching this and being like, isn't that kind of cool that they did that? And I was like, no, not at all. I fucking hate this. And ever since then, I've just been like, I'm done with it. I'm done. It's frustrating.
Yeah, there's definitely something to like the dramatization part, but then the romanticizing of all of it, which is very, very strange to me. Like
There's some weird ones on here. I wouldn't call Tick Tick Boom a music biopic.
I
see where it's coming
it's
from.
autobiographical, so that's the
It's like a memoir, kind of.
well, but he wrote it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jonathan Larson wrote about his own life, so it is weird because of that. But yeah,
Biopic really just means it's about a person.
Has anybody
They're
seen?
like their real story. Quote
I
unquote.
didn't know that Funny Girl was a biopic.
I don't know what that is.
It's sort of like I didn't realize it was a movie first, also, but it was a movie musical from like the.
Did you realize it was a
50s?
thing at all?
Funny Girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like it was Barbra Streisand's like big break was Funny Girl.
Oh, okay.
And she plays a character named Fanny Bryce. And there's like all these really legendary like Broadway songs in this musical. And I was like looking through a list today of like top biopics and on a Rotten Tomatoes list that was like really high up. And I'm like, that's a fucking biopic? I thought, and then like it had Sound of Music in there too. And I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that's
wait
strange.
a minute. What?
They're playing fast and loose there. There are some like I remember like for me like high school. The high school biopics that were coming out when I was in high school, like so like Walk the Line, Ray, and this is before high school, but 8 Mile. I remember like those and like people talking about them and like being super into them. And there's a Temptations one with I think Cuba Gooding Jr. is in it, but
Yeah, I think so.
but I remember those like, and people like they were always on HBO and stuff like that. And I guess I just had this idea of like, yep, these are a really popular form of movie. But I wonder if at that time were people having this kind of conversation of like, I don't know anybody who's too excited whenever there's one that's coming out. Or like there was a Respect came out this year. That was this year, right? The Aretha Franklin one.
Yeah,
This year or last
year.
Yeah.
But that just came out and then was done and then wasn't.
It was nominated for awards and then didn't get any. But
wasn't Ma Rainey's Black Bottom a biopic?
Yes, but that did get nominated for a lot of stuff,
Right.
didn't it? Yeah.
But do you know anybody who
that's
saw
the
it?
ideal like
Oh, yeah.
outcome of that though, is it gets nominated
Yeah.
and then people actually go see it. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're like, oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking loved the Ray Charles one. Jamie Foxx nailed it.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's Amadeus. I remember that one.
I fucking hate that movie.
Right.
I had to watch that in a class in college.
I have friends who love that movie. I'm gonna excuse myself and take care of this screaming dog.
That's all. There are just so many on here that like I wonder if people were frustrated by it or if it was just general like, yeah, these are coming out.
I mean, not just music biopics, but biopics in general. There's always going to be a dozen or more every year.
Oh, Get On Up came out. Wasn't that what's his name who plays Black Panther?
Oh, yeah.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, didn't
Yeah.
he play in Get On Up?
Yeah,
That was a good one, too.
there are. Yeah, that's the thing is, I think with biopics, you can have really good performances. Like actually, in a lot of these, the actors are really good. Like what's his name in Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah.
Rami Malek.
Rami Malek, really good in that role. Not as good as Sacha Baron Cohen would have been probably, but really, really good. And so that's, an upside to these is they get to have actors get really into a persona and it works. And
Yeah.
that's the only reason that some of these sell tickets, probably, honestly.
There's always that, like, I get kind of depressed on this. The first time I had this happen to me was that, I think it's called like Rush 30 or something like that. That Rush documentary where they like just talk about their whole career or something. It's not Rush 30, but
There was a Pearl Jam 30.
yeah. But there's a Rush one where it's like it talks about their whole career and it's a 2-hour long documentary. I remember at the end of it, like just kind of feeling really sad because I was like, imagine your entire life being put into 2 hours.
Yeah.
Especially like their life. Like people who actually have like a pretty interesting story. Imagine that. So I kind of feel that way with like these biopics because they're always like from start to finish. Like it is their entire life in like 2 to 3 hours. I remember some of them aren't that way. So like Nowhere Boy, which is that John Lennon one. It's specifically focused around like I think it's like the 2 years that like when he's meeting like Paul McCartney and them, and it's just when he's in like Liverpool for like those 2 years right before they go off to Hamburg. I was like, that's a cool way of doing that.
I think that's a better approach.
Right.
Because a lot of times the movie studios get in the way because I've heard some stories of like director's cuts being like 6 hours.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the studios are like, hey, we can't sell this, so you have to whittle it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. There's also I didn't know it was a thing. Don Cheadle wrote, directed, and starred in a Miles Davis biopic that was only focused on like a couple years of his life.
Miles ahead.
That's it.
Yep. No, it is.
Yeah.
It genuinely
Yeah,
is.
that
on
is it.
Paramount
That is
Plus.
That's
Yeah.
a bad name.
But I didn't realize that it
That's
was
the name of a famous Miles Davis record. Jesus.
That also, I didn't realize
I
that
guess
Don
that's true,
Cheadle like
but-
wrote, directed, and starred in it. It's like a super cool thing.
I remember when this came out, Behind the Candelabra. Did y'all ever see that one?
No.
No,
That's I need to get his name right.
that was one of the-
Liberace.
Yeah.
It's about Liberace.
Oh yeah, it's really good. It's Al Pacino as Liberace and Matt Damon is his like lover. It's wonderful.
It's good?
Yeah. I enjoyed it when it came out. It was like
called
straight
Behind the
to HBO.
Who
Chupacabra?
was the?
No, Behind the Candelabra.
I'm gonna look it up. I was gonna see who the director on that was because sometimes you get directors into nobody that.
No, that's
Well-
Steven Soderbergh.
Okay, that makes sense because it's like probably a passion project of his that he was like,
Yeah.
he's a good director and he's like, I want to make this biopic, and the studio's like, okay, yeah, you do whatever you want to, and just make sure it's under 3 hours.
There
Like,
are also weird, like for me, like there are the Rami Maleks, there's the yada 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 of like these actors who like it's just like wow, it's so uncanny. But there are also the ones where I don't know if it's this Jimmy All Is By My Side, the Jimi Hendrix one, but I specifically remember there are a few instances where like there's just this weird miming act happening. Like I remember the
Val Kilmer playing.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Jim Morrison.
But, like it makes sense when you look at Val Kilmer, but like I remember watching it and just like him just going, ooh.
It was boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it. I don't know. Like it feels like most of the time these are just boring.
Yeah.
Like it's like even though there are these like over dramatizations, it's hard to get immersed, and you're just like, what am I watching? Like it's like watching a Transformers movie. That's really just how it feels like.
Do you think there's anything? Go ahead, Dave.
I think that like the less you know about the artist and the less you care about the artist, the more enjoyable that movie.
But then
be.
also who is genuinely going out like I've never listened to Miles Davis. Like sure, I've probably heard some Miles Davis, but I've never actively sat down and listened. Do I want like I'm not going to just like organically go watch a Miles Davis movie, right?
Yeah, I mean he had a pretty crazy life though.
And I believe that, but it's like also like I'm not going to organically just like go to that.
Right. And that's why studios are pushing names that are big names. Like the Queen one was like Queen is a marketable IP, if you want to call it that at this point. They can sell tickets to the movie without anybody like knowing anything about the story or their history or anything and just being like, oh, I know Queen.
Yeah.
Do y'all think that there's anything that like could be like any style or like industry change that could push us in the right direction that could get you specifically back into it? For me, as I was saying, I like the idea of like memoir type thing. Don't focus on an entire career. There's Patrick H. Willems is this YouTuber I really like, and he just like critiques films and like breaks down them. And he has a really great video on music biopics and what he doesn't like about them. And he pitched his idea, like if he ever had to do one, he wants to do an Oasis movie, but not on their first two albums, specifically the follow-up to their big album, their second album. And it was apparently like this whole like era, like they were like super strung out, like all this partying and all that kind of stuff. And then them releasing this very like nobody liked the record. He's like, that's what I would focus on. That exactly. Like you seeing they're already at the peak. And this is what happens when you get to that point. He's like, that's an interesting story. I don't want to see them rise. We've seen that so many times. You see that in Star Wars. You see somebody go from nothing to everything.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. It's exciting.
It is. But I like that. I like the memoir, like focus on a sliver. And it could be that rise. Yeah. But I don't want 30 years. I want, give me 5 years.
Yeah.
I think that's the answer.
Yeah, I like that idea. I mean, I guess it's not. I don't know if it's still like is defined as a biopic, but I also would like to fix like the whole like director's cut issue. Just make it like an anthology series, or not an anthology,
like
but
a
limited series.
I was gonna say this problem has kind of been solved or is going to be solved by Netflix just being like make everything a TV show.
Yeah. Well, and they've done it like some with like there was like the Feuds TV show that like it wasn't like directly like a following like it had musical acts in it.
Yeah, that
like covers
that's
like
probably a
feuds.
good example of it being done better as a series though.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that to me is like a solution where you can cover a specific time period or a large time period, no matter what, and get as detailed as you want to over 8 to 10 episodes that are hour or longer instead of just like here's 2.5 hours to figure it out.
I mean, I honestly feel like that's the downside of the memoir aspect of they released that Oasis movie and it's super popular and they're like, all right, we're going to have a green light a sequel. And it's like, fuck, that's not how to handle this. Like, I remember when Bohemian Rhapsody like was super big. I remember there were like rumors that like, yep, they've greenlit a sequel. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
what is that?
Dead. I don't know how you do sequels to biopics though. That doesn't tend to happen at least.
Well, the rumor with Queen, because it ends with like,
with the big concert basically.
The rumor was that like the sequel to Bohemian Rhapsody was going to be the end of Freddie Mercury's life and the band,
the last record and the band going forward,
and the band succeeding past that. And it's just like
my reaction.
Brian May's idea. You know who wrote it though? Yeah.
Holy shit!
But if they get the right yes men in there, like that movie made, I think it was like almost $1 billion.
That sounds way too high.
It was a huge movie, though.
It was.
It was massive. And
That's like-
my favorite thing was when that movie came out, which is inevitably happens to like music teachers.
Yeah.
People are like, "Can I learn
Almost $1 billion. Eat my
shit.
shorts.
eat my shorts?"
It's not what I wanted to say. $910.8 million on a 50 to 55 million budget.
Oh shit,
Whoa.
that's really good.
That's
massive.
a worldwide number, which is crazy because Queen,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously has international appeal, but
Yeah.
that still
That's
seems
crazy. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of students, whenever a biopic like that comes out, they're just like, "Can I learn Bohemian Rhapsody?" And I'm like,
No.
no, because you don't even know what B flat is."
But that is cool. It is cool that it has that effect. of-
Yeah.
It's cool. It introduces people to music they maybe wouldn't go seek out on their own. But
I think there are two really cool things about biopics. The first one is, I would say, intentional, which is that it gets people to go listen to the music that maybe wouldn't have already. And the second thing is not intentional, which is when nerds like us watch them and go, "That's not how it happened," and go home and look it up, which is a good thing. 'Cause that's how like we properly
Any news
like,
is good news.
Yeah. But those are the positives that I see to the whole situation. But in general, it just feels I don't know.
Well, and we're aware of the fact, before anyone comes at us for this, that they have to mince some truths and mix things around for the storyline.
Well, again, it's a dramatization, like you
Yeah.
like we've been saying. It's like it has to be like something has to. It's a written script about someone's life. It's not their life to a T.
Yeah.
right.
And you know, when like you're talking about the things that are like, well, this happened like over the course of 3 years, not in one day, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like those kinds of things. Of course, they're gonna try to like mush it together. It's weird to like do like those like these things over 3 years in one day. That is a weird thing to mush, but like I get why they do that stuff. It just is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's really hard to watch.
What really gets me are like the scenes specifically in Bohemian Rhapsody because it's the most like prevalent like abuser of this
Because you're a pretty big Queen fan, right, Jackson?
yeah, love them.
Yeah.
Love them. And this like every time it's just like, oh man, like we don't have a song that like really we don't have a song right now, and the bassist says, well, I've got something. And then like it's just Brian May's like banana, and then Freddie Mercury. It's this big like triumphant thing, and it's just like, no,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, we all watched the Beatles documentary. We know that's not how that works.
I think that's also a thing where like people walk around and they go like, this is how music is written.
Yeah.
Like this is, dude, you know that's how they
No,
wrote that
it's
song.
the drummer getting drunk while everybody else is fighting, and the guitarist is wearing a fucking fur coat.
Don't out me, bro.
So here's
You
the
outed yourself wearing a fur coat, man.
Look, to be fair, though, how many times in interviews do you hear artists go, and it was like the muse just came through me?
Yeah, and I want to hit them all.
only only
they're
Jack
all,
White
they're all
does
full
that.
of shit.
I think-
No, I've heard so many fucking people do
Yeah,
that.
a lot of artists
Fuck
do
those
that,
people.
and it's such a it's a really cool thing when people can hold art in such a high esteem and like have this like beautiful vision of how art and music works. But it also is like the most pretentious fucking thing, and it also like it's inspiring, but it's in my opinion unrealistic to how like other people should like conduct themselves in the real world of art and music making.
I don't like it. I think I don't think there's anything wrong with saying music is work.
Yeah.
Art is work. I mean, Kiss was like noted as saying like they in some interview of like, oh, so I imagine you guys just sit down and like churn out hits, and they go, no, we go to work every single day. It's like being in a gold mine. We sit there and 99% of what we get is dirt.
Yeah.
But then 1% is gold, and that's what you guys hear. You guys don't get to hear the dirt. And then it's the same thing. Mountain Goat singer John Darnielle has a similar thing. He's like, you guys are my, like, I'm your employee to the fans and the audience. Like, I work. If you have something you want to hear, that's what I want to do, that kind of thing. I was like, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that like cheapens art or anything like that. The whole idea of like the muse thing, I'm just like,
Yeah.
nah, fuck that.
No, and the other, it reminds me of when people are like, man, what a God-given talent you have. It's like, no, I fucking practiced.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah,
some
it
people
comes off very
You're
like
so-
elitist too.
You're
of,
so
like,
blessed.
Yeah. How did you
Yeah.
learn how to do that? It must be
some people are like
natural
that.
talent.
I think that they start a little bit ahead, and I don't know what that is, but it's just like, also, yeah, at the end of the day, I think any of us could be as good of a guitarist as like Yngwie Malmsteen it's just going to take a bit of time.
Yeah. Well, it's like there's definitely something to watching certain people who have just a genetic ability to do something do something easier or better than you on a first shot, right?
Yeah,
That's
a predisposition to just getting to it.
Like as a bass player, I don't think I'll ever, no matter what I did to practice, I don't think I would ever be able to play as fast as Thundercat.
These are things that just exist, but we can still practice and get really good and do all that stuff. But I think that the issue with the biopic approach is that in the example of Bohemian Rhapsody, it's this song was written in 2 minutes or less. It's well, wait a second,
upside down, in bed.
That's not how any of this works. Okay, yes. I would go as far as to say that everyone in Queen has a wild talent, and they're very, very talented. They probably did practice a lot, but they probably also, especially back then, there was definitely something about the people who were just naturally talented who could get up and go do the thing, because it wasn't so available, accessible to be a musician, right?
Right.
But it still doesn't mean that all of their songs were written in a 5-minute or under span. That's such a wild thing to shove in a movie, and then people leave and they're like, did you know they wrote it like that? Did you know musicians are like that? They're so blessed. They're so all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think all of us like music documentaries, though.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing to watch.
Yeah, I love them. I just this weekend was trying to watch that Sparks documentary that came out that Edgar Wright did. And I've never even heard or listened to them, but I super enjoyed it.
What's it called? Sparks
Brothers.
I'm going to watch that.
Yeah. It's on Netflix. But I think what that is that it's actually real. You can have a documentary that's skewed, and as I was saying about the
Beatles documentary, where Peter Jackson was like, "I'm going to actually show you what really fucking happened."
Yeah, and that's a great example because the original edit was completely different. It was oh, they're just completely falling apart. And it's no, not really.
Yeah,
they bickered and they did fall apart technically, but they came back together and here's all the successes. It's cool seeing them I'm not about to talk good about that movie. Actually, I'm gonna backtrack. I was just talking to your wife about this last week, Hagen, about fuck that movie. I'm so mad that I had to watch that movie.
Yeah, I talked about it at Thanksgiving because
that's what we did last Thanksgiving.
I know, but it's because my dad hadn't seen it, and I was telling him all about it, and I was like, you should watch it just to just
that's
so
mean of you.
As a form of punishment.
As a form.
Yeah.
Of
See how many corn dogs you can eat.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to skew documentaries. Basically every single Kurt Cobain documentary has an agenda.
Right.
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are some interesting musical documentaries that that Radiohead one.
I'll never watch that again. I'll never watch that again.
It's super. It's artsy. It's not. It's not this narrative. It's it's literally kind of a tour diary of their OK Computer tour, but they're not telling you what's happening. It's just somebody had a camera and they just put it together, and there's some ambient noise happening.
Right.
It's a tough watch.
And it is. And there's another one that I've watched that's similar like that. And I do like that style. It is cool. But then you have that Ken Burns, or there's a Bob Dylan, Martin Scorsese one that's I think 6 hours. And
is that the one where a bunch of different actors and actresses?
No, so that's the biopic.
That's the biopic,
which I've heard is very good.
Yeah.
But there's a documentary by Martin Scorsese that's 6 hours long. I own it. And I've never been able to get through it.
I haven't seen that one, but it's gotten it has good reviews and everything, and people seem to like that one. I think that goes back to the directors and people putting together these documentaries are passionate about the topic.
The stars really have to align.
Right, the Sparks Brothers one. That's clearly a passion project of his, and he was I'm going to make this movie, and
Edgar
somebody's
Wright
going to pay for it.
Is in it. The director is in it, and so it's super funny. He is interviewing a ton of musicians who are I'm inspired by them. So it's Jack Antonoff, Beck, and it's every time they put somebody up there, they put Jack Antonoff, and then it says under that in smaller print, producer of, and then it's just flashing through all these names. And then when it gets to Beck, it says "see above." Like it's like, you know who Beck is. So I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And when
And
it
it
gets
flashes and says Scientology really fast.
Just for one frame.
but when it gets to Edgar Wright, and this is like, I knew he was the director, but like some people might not. And when it says Edgar Wright, it just says massive fan. That's all it says. And you won't know that he's the director until the very end of the
that's
movie.
pretty
Yeah.
Hoping you put 2 and 2 together. And I was like, that's pretty funny.
But if you don't know who he is either, I can imagine watching that and be like, who's this? It's just some guy they picked off the street to like talk
Right.
to about this, you know.
And that's
musician.
how I found out he was British. I did not know he was British. He opened his mouth and I was
Okay.
like, surely this is a bit. And then I looked it up. I was like, nope. He's
what,
British.
what a funny bit to do. Also,
Right.
like,
Your brother did that bit like 2 weeks ago.
well, that was a slightly different one, but yeah. Same
Yeah,
idea.
same
yeah.
idea,
Fake
yeah.
accent. Yeah.
So why don't like music documentaries get in theaters, and why aren't they these big?
I mean, they do, but
They-
they're not in massive.
We saw
Yeah,
this
that's what I'm
documentary
saying.
in theater. We saw the Foo Fighters documentary in theaters.
but it was in select theaters.
Well,
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
going to always be the case with any.
And that's a great
Honestly,
documentary.
any
Yeah, it
documentary.
really
That's my
is.
favorite fucking documentary.
I think any documentary is going to be in limited theaters because people don't want to go see documentaries. Because
Yeah.
It's also like the whole like the
broadly, like-
theater experience. I think is kind of counterproductive to most documentaries. I feel
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
I feel like most people are like going to the theater for like a whole experience. And documentaries are like, let me sit and listen to someone talk and like learn
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the main gist. But
You're
I'm-
going to get a limited release no matter what.
yeah.
and specifically up here, we don't get any limited releases that are like of note unless you go to downtown Dallas. Like
Right.
anywhere
Yeah.
outside of downtown, you're not going to see it. Which is why somebody is seeing all these documentaries.
In theater.
In theater.
Yeah, so like, and it doesn't irk me when a documentary, like I've seen documentaries that focus on like this album, or I've seen, you know, like the Saint Anger one, Some Kind of Monster, one of the best of all time.
it's that. Yeah, it's like my favorite music
yeah.
documentary.
And that's like,
It's so
that's
fucking good.
specifically about a, like just one album. But
Yeah.
then, you know, you'll have the Rush one or the Foo Fighters one, which is like at that time was their whole career.
Right.
And that, to me, I was just like, that doesn't bother me. And then there's also ones that are like so my favorite one is that the black metal one. I forget the name.
Oh yeah.
But that one, it's about a whole span of years and multiple different artists until the light catches or it takes us.
Yeah.
That one is taking up an entire like subculture, and like you would think like, oh well, that needs to be a mini series at most. But for me, I was just like, no, this is enough. It doesn't bother me.
And you don't have to always make these things like longer because there's more information. It just when it comes to the biopics, like they're trying to like with documentaries, they're doing this kind of, they're trying to like draw emotions, but it's not the point, right? The point isn't to make the audience feel an emotion. The point is to like present information and like ask, you know, people involved how they felt, you know, all those sorts of things. But like biopics and movies are trying to immerse their people.
Yeah.
They're trying, so like they might take a moment in time for a band or an artist that was like very, very short, but they're going to expand it to like 5-10 minutes of screen time to like draw more emotion and more power out of it, or like, you know, do specific edits during a live thing so it's like longer, you know, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Just to show how much I'm like just off like musical biopics is that like there was a Lords of Chaos biopic, like a movie that came out, and that's my favorite music documentary. So you would think, oh, I'm gonna go watch this, but that was post The Dirt, and I was just like, no, fuck this, I'm not watching this, I don't care.
So it was The Dirt that ruined it for you?
I think it was. I've come to that realization today, but I really think that is. I saw the
Yeah.
poster when I looked up a list right here, and I was like, fuck that. I
Yeah.
just got this bad taste in my mouth, and I had to take some Dr. Pepper to get it out.
I think I'll always watch them.
What, biopics?
Yeah.
I don't think I will.
I'm kind of a sucker for them. But I also know that I'm like, I understand that this is not super accurate to the history of the
Sure.
artist all the time.
Yeah.
Very, very aware of that.
Yeah. I'll probably only watch a handful. I'm just not.
Is there a band you'd want to see or an artist? Like a Dave Grohl one?
I think what interests me the most tends to be who they cast, not who they're covering.
Yeah, I would say who they cast or who's writing it.
Yeah,
Maybe.
like that tends to like I don't care about Elvis, but I like Austin Butler, and it seemed like he did a lot of good work for that performance. So like that's why I wanted to see the Elvis movie, because I like Austin Butler. So
It's a good movie to watch if you're just watching it as
Isn't
a movie.
it like 3 hours?
It's long. I think there's an intermission in it as well.
Really?
That's fun.
I do like that. I like intermissions. That
Intermissions
feels-
are good. They should
Yeah.
exist in more
We've
movies.
all seen Baz Luhrmann movies, right?
Yes,
Like we've
yeah,
seen
yeah,
Moulin
yeah.
Rouge.
Yeah,
They're like fever dreams.
big old stinker.
What, Moulin Rouge?
Yeah.
I love that movie. That was so
Big
good.
old stinker.
I've never seen it.
Super fun.
You should see it. I'm the.
If you
I'm
want to
the
watch it and we
buzzkill.
can talk about it on the show, we can.
Yeah.
His movies just are over the top,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
style and crazy. So Elvis is a good fit, honestly, in a lot of ways.
I'm surprised at the reaction to that movie because it did really well, right? But
don't
but
Yeah, but Elvis is popular with
he's
middle-aged
so fucking
America.
popular. It's crazy.
Yeah, people don't really understand, like, or they don't want to accept. I mean, this goes across for like pretty much every single famous like American rock star. They've all done horrible things, and
Yeah.
were horrible people. Maybe extended American too, but just like early rock star. Like they all pretty much all did horrible things, but people just don't. It's just like it's romanticizing these people.
Yeah.
Like it's like
well, it was the 70s. Well, it was the 80s.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like
Well, it was the 90s.
yeah. I think
That's
I'll,
the Straight Outta Compton one.
Right.
Yeah.
well, I think I think that I'll like probably watch if it's a good cast or a good director or a good writer, something that interests me in that field. But like it would take a lot for me to want to go watch one.
I think I would hate watch a Coheed one just because I would be like, that's so funny that they did that.
Seth,
This is going to
Seth,
be
what's his name?
like Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen
as Claudio.
And then
They'd be like,
well, he does the low laugh and then hits a super duper high note.
yeah, that'd be so good. I would actively like boycott a Radiohead one. That would
Yeah.
just kill me.
Mhm.
Just thinking like
Pete
I know
Davidson.
I know I shouldn't
That's
say
Tom
this.
York.
It's gonna happen.
I know I shouldn't say this, but like thinking like that they would put like some prosthetic eye or that actor would
Oh,
actually
yeah.
like
No,
do Tom's lazy eye. I'd be like,
It would be CGI. At
what
this
the
point.
fuck?
Yeah.
Pete Davidson is actively developing a Ramones documentary, and he is playing. I can't believe. I think it's Johnny or Joey Ramone,
Wow.
one of the two, and he's like working with the family.
Oh, that's
like the
cool.
estate.
Yeah.
I mean, I
It's
think
not
that,
gonna
That's
be
the thing
cool.
right there.
It's
Is
like
I'm like,
the
oh, that's
given.
cool. I
That-
kind of
no,
want to see that.
that can be cool because like the Rocketman one, they worked with Elton John himself on
Yeah.
that, and that's like by all accounts that was probably a cool movie. I didn't see it, but
I really like that one.
I
I
feel
did
like that's
see
a
it,
fun
yeah.
thing because it's like somebody who doesn't take themselves like seriously. That could also be the case of the family being like,
Yeah.
you got to tell the whole thing.
And
like,
they in Rocketman they played to the fantastical nature of
Right,
of
which
the
is
whole
a-
thing, and it became kind of a shtick in
Yeah.
the movie, which is really cool.
That's a really cool like way to differentiate it from other biopics. And be
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're not just doing the normal like biopic of like 60 years, whatever.
All this being said, go see the Weird Al documentary or the biopic. It is so
I mean, that's-
funny.
that's
Well,
another
the same,
example
that's
of it.
along the same lines as
Yeah.
the Rocketman one, where it's like it's more
close.
so. It's
not
more
even
so,
close.
right?
The stuff I want to tell you about it is like so into spoiler territory, and it's like, how can you spoiler Weird Al? It's like, well, you have to watch the movie. I mean, like the only thing I can say is that he said I wanted to put time travel in it, and they said I couldn't. So like here's a list of some that are in the works. This is clearly a dated list because Weird Al is on here. Bob Marley, Cher, Weird Al, the Bee Gees. That might be cool. There was a really cool an HBO documentary that's like really great.
That was great.
So like, don't do that. Leonard Bernstein. No, thank you. Michael Jackson.
There
There's
won't be, there
there's
won't be
gonna
any
be some like
controversy for that one.
that one's gonna be real smooth.
The family was like, "We'll help. We'll help. We'll help. We'll help."
Yeah.
We'll help you with whatever you need.
Whitney Houston, Bob Dylan. They already did that.
Whitney Houston comes out soon, like a couple
Yeah, I've
weeks.
seen
I think.
ads for that.
Oh, really?
They've been playing the trailer in theaters just as much as the Elvis one, which maybe it'll make as much money. Who knows?
They just did that Selena one on like
Yeah.
Netflix this year. Like it's a series. There's an Amy Winehouse one in. Yeah, like none of these are getting me excited. Like Heart, maybe.
I would really like to see Rumors era Fleetwood Mac biopic.
Like just that
era
period.
of them
Yeah.
all breaking up and
Yeah.
still writing that record.
Yeah, they
and-
can't put what they did on television or on the screen. They did some.
They can if they did it like X-rated.
Yeah, exactly. Just
I mean, Netflix did an NC-17 biopic kind of thing. They
Yeah.
could do it.
yeah.
And everybody loved it.
Yeah, there was
Everybody loved it.
no controversy at all with that one either.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's no consensus here of like
They're gonna keep making them.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
they're not
so-
going to stop making them because
Yeah.
we talked about it on
But
our podcast.
for listeners who like biopics and stuff, try to also find a documentary about the subject.
Yeah,
also just tell us why. Tell us what you like and why.
What do you like?
No.
Well,
I like to hear it because
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Somebody the other day said to me, I love this song. And I was like, I love this song. And they said, no, you don't. You hate this type of music. And I said, no, I love this song because you love this song. And they were like, that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. I was like, that's so fucking depressing. But it's like, it
Was it
genuinely.
your partner?
No. But it is one of those things where it's like, you know, I want to hear, like, if somebody's passionate about something, like your friend at a bar one night was talking to me about like his thesis for law school. And like, I was like, man, I'm so interested in this. And he goes, I know I'm just drunk and you're just being nice. I was like, no, you're passionate about this, which makes me interested. Like,
yeah.
am I going to go home and read about this? Probably not. But like, you're super passionate and that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that
Fuck anyone who feels otherwise. Fuck anyone who like hears you being passionate about somebody and is just like, shut up. Like, get that person out of your life. Fuck that person.
Hey, shut up.
Yeah. Shut up, Hagen.
what are you listening to?
Are we actually doing that?
You told me to shut up, man.
what do you mean? Are we actually doing that? We do that every week.
Fuck off.
I think that's my favorite bit we've been doing lately.
Yeah, that's a good bit.
I hate that bit.
Yeah, someone else go.
Fuck. I've been listening to Christmas music. I've been playing it too, but I fucking hate Christmas now. After this weekend, because we played a Christmas gig.
Yeah.
I think I played,
You're only 5 days into.
dude.
very long
We
month.
played an hour and a half Christmas gig spontaneously,
Yeah.
and I think I
You
played.
just got you went Christmas caroling, dude. It's
Yeah.
not special.
I think I played like 25 bass solos, and it was fucking. I was like, this is like a fever dream. This is really weird.
That's not what I associate with Christmas music.
Well, Christmas music is like really straightforward and really
Christmas.
Quizmois music is very straightforward and like there's a lot like if you just play them like straight through normally they're really short songs and we had to play for an hour and a half. So it was
And
like
there's only like 12 Christmas songs. So.
well yeah, we had a set list of like 20 some odd songs and
how many would you do for the bells?
I played just like straight like rock grooves the whole time. I didn't
What, like a train beat or what?
on one, yeah.
Yeah.
We did a lot of dun 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 dun.
Oh, we did so much.
So much of that in every fucking song, and it was hilarious. And then I went and played another Christmas gig after that.
Yeah, I
And I
played
couldn't feel my fingers.
That sucks.
So that's
so
why
fucking
you're
cold.
done with
I
it.
played.
Yeah.
I played with a pop band on Friday, and we also played Christmas music, and that was tough because we had to figure out what Christmas song we had already all practiced and learned 2 Christmas songs. And then we got there, and they're like, we're not gonna do those ones, so we had to then decide 2 other Christmas songs to do, and that was super fun. And then learn it, and then practicing for our gig and stuff. I called my mom, and I was like, I am sorry. By the time Christmas comes around, I'm gonna be the big old Grinch because I'm fucking tired of this shit.
What about you, Aldabum? Aldabum?
Aldabum.
Aldabum?
Algebra.
All the bum.
Hey, algebra.
All right.
Album?
I like album better, but yeah, you know.
I like algebra.
I listened to LCD Soundsystem's new song, New Body Rhumba, which was in the new Netflix movie White Noise that I went and saw yesterday. And I've been listening to a bunch of LCD Soundsystem now as a result, and it's great.
Is it a documentary about them?
No.
I watched
No,
that
it's-
last week.
It's I don't know how to describe it necessarily, but I know it's adapted from a book. I don't know if you
Would you recommend
read it. Oh yeah, it's a great movie. I knew nothing going into it except I was going to go see it because the
Those usually
writer
end up
and
being my
director
favorite
is
movies.
Noah Baumbach.
Oh, no, Baumbach?
Yeah.
Baumbach?
I'm interested
You
in
mean,
his
you mean Greta Gerwig's husband?
yeah, there you go. But I was interested in the movie and I
Hashtag
was like
feminism?
I'm going to go see it. Didn't know anything about it, and it kind of feels like a fever dream halfway through because I'm like, I don't understand how any of this is related and where we're going, and that's totally fine.
What's it called again?
White Noise.
White Noise.
Is Adam Driver in it?
Yes.
Of course he is. Noah Baumbach and Adam Driver are like fucking best friends.
Yeah.
Is that the movie where everyone's been posting the gif of him shirtless on a horse?
No, I don't think so.
That's the Russian-Ukraine conflict.
You just melted album's brain a little bit there. He went.
I was trying to think. Like I saw the movie yesterday. I don't think that was in there, but there was a lot of stuff
there's
that I didn't know what to make of in that movie either.
There's a
so.
gif going around of Adam Driver shirtless on a horse. I don't know where it's from. So
Wonderful. That's so good.
thank you.
Jackson.
One time I saw Adam Driver in New York City.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I paid to see him. It was a
This
play.
is very different. Yeah.
It was him and Carrie Russell in a play. And this was something that and I'll even try and do it right now. I'm wearing a long sleeve, so this is
Good soup.
YouTube exclusive. He's talking, he's doing a monologue, and he's talking, he's getting real into it, and he's just sitting there. He's rolling up his sleeves, and I'm watching him the whole time. He's nailing his lines, like doesn't slip up. He's keeping eye contact with Carrie Russell, and the whole time he rolls up his sleeve, never messes up. And then at the end of it, I looked at his sleeves. I was like, those were perfectly rolled. Holy shit. I don't even remember what the scene was about, but I was just like, well, surely he's going to fumble over it because he's thinking about his lines. But like, look, I did real
You did
poorly.
pretty good on the right one.
It looks real poor, but like,
you're no Adam Driver. It's
They
fine.
teach that in the
and
military.
he didn't look down, and that must have been it. But he wasn't looking down. He was just sitting there, and I was just like enamored by like, this man is just immaculate at rolling up his sleeves. So
There's
yeah.
one thing I can say about Adam Driver.
What a skill.
That man can roll a sleeve.
Yeah. I'm all over the place in what I'm listening to this week, so I will abstain.
That's not how that works.
Well, it did.
That's
Okay.
actually
Yeah, y'all
how
did
that
that
works.
last
Because
week.
last week, both of you were like, nothing.
Nothing.
Well, nothing is different from I listen to a lot of things and I don't want to talk about
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Do you want me to just roll off some stuff?
Nah.
Maybe one.
A lot of sci-fi movie soundtracks for my 14-hour board game.
Oh, okay.
People got annoyed with that, so it quickly shifted into like, well, I'm gonna play pop punk music, and I was like, well, this is about like space conquest, so like maybe not pop punk music. And they said, well, I'm gonna play bad music until you take over the music. So then we ended up just like putting on like Sigur Rós, and I was like, that was our like happy in between. It actually really worked out.
Nice.
Yeah.
So sure, that's it.
Quizmois music.
more?
Yeah. That's that. My answer is Quizmois music.
It's unfortunate.
I've been trying to get to a happy place when I'm listening to music, and also I'm the only one who hasn't picked an album of the year, so I've also been listening to a lot of those again. So because I can't decide.
That's genuinely what I've been listening to is Adam and I's album of the year.
Nice.
Not
That's
mine.
fair.
Are you going to?
I mean, we don't want to talk about what it is yet, but I listened to Dave's album of the year and it's really good. I
Yeah.
liked it.
It is really
You
good.
can hear us talk about that soon.
Next week. So next week we're doing our. I guess are we going to release it next week too?
It sounds like we already know.
Okay, cool.
Fuck it.
Let's do it.
We are doing our end of the year party, our holiday party, end of year wrap up, do our album of the year, all that kind of stuff. So if you have an album of the year, please send it our way. You can DM us at DFTA Podcast. You can leave it in the comments on YouTube. You can email us at albumoftheyear@don'tfeedtheartist.com. Let us know your album of the year, and we'll give you a little shout out on the episode. So thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. So yeah, like I said, DFTA Podcast on Instagram. Give us a follow. TikTok, Don't Feed the Artists. YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Don't Feed the Artists.
There's Adam Driver.
Adam Driver.
He was rolling up his sleeves the whole time.
He's got gloves on and sleeves are still not rolled up.
It would have been a better movie if he did, though.
It would have been a way better movie if Kylo Ren was just
sitting there.
sleeveless.
Yeah.
He had no shirts, and his pants were a little bit too high.
So please send us your album of the year. We're really excited to talk about this. I'm really excited to finally pick mine and send it to everybody so they can not listen to it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Thank you guys. Fuck off.
Get me an album of the year for Hagen.
Fuck off! Get rid of town! Fuck off!
That was louder this year.
Fuck! 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 Fuck off! Give me the towel!
Fuck off! Get me a towel! Fuck off!
All right, bye.